Well, hello friends. Welcome to our Power of 5 Lunch and Learn. National Sales Director Kristin Sharpe, and I am so grateful that you have joined us. Now, today we're going to be covering power number 2 out of John Maxwell's new book, The Power of 5. And power number 2 is all about connection. And every Wednesday, right here on my Kristin Sharpe NSD Facebook page, I'm going to be coming live as we dissect each and every chapter. There's 5 chapters of this Power of 5 new book by the amazing author and speaker, John C. Maxwell. So every Wednesday in October at noon Eastern Standard, you will find me here as we are doing our Lunch and Learn book club. Yay. You do want to go ahead and pop on to maxwellpower5.com/leader. So if you go to Maxwell Power of 5, you'll see the book, but in order to get the discount, so you get it for $12, you want to do the /leader, okay? Now here's what's so cool is that John so graciously said, in the month of October, and actually really starting on September 13th, which was our anniversary with Mary Kay, September 13th through October 31st, John is giving $1 for every book purchased from maxwellpower5.com/leader to the Mary Kay Charitable Foundation, which just warms my heart that through this book club, it's a way that we can bless others through our foundation. And so if you're not familiar with the Mary Kay Charitable Foundation, it supports women in domestic violence situations as well as cancer research, which of course it's October and it's breast cancer awareness. So it's so fitting. All right, so before we dive into chapter number 2, let's do a little bit of review over chapter 1, you guys, because one of the challenges that I gave you last week was to schedule a learning lunch. It's something that John talked about in chapter number 1, and really my idea behind this was that you would hold this learning lunch this past week, and then that you would share with your mentor or your power partner what you learned from doing the learning lunch. And it's been so fun because many of you have personally messaged me your aha moments, your BFOs, which I like to call blinding flashes of the obvious from having your learning lunch. And so thank you so much for sharing those with me. If you haven't yet shared those, feel free in the comments, you guys, to say, yes, Kristin, I did my learning lunch. This is who I did it with. And this was my aha moment, or this was my BFO. Because I think when we post that, you guys, it does encourage us to have the courage to ask that person that, right, is above us or better than us in a certain area that maybe could be a little intimidating, to just ask. So I want to say congratulations to all of you that did go ahead and schedule that learning lunch. I know some of you are actually holding that this week, so I cannot wait to hear all about that. And it's just been amazing just to hear what a profound impact that lunch and meeting with that other leader has done for so many of you. It has been so rewarding to hear your success stories. And I do want to give a big shout out to my dear friend, Sandy Spoonmore. She is a sales director from Plano, Texas, you guys, and she is wheelchair bound. You might know Sandy from Facebook or some of our Mary Kay events, but she actually has spinal muscular atrophy, and she has been paralyzed from a really young age. And what I love about Sandy is that she is a no excuses woman. Despite her disabilities, her health situation, she is still in the top 1% of our company, and she has been for countless years. Also, I want you to know that Sandy is a single woman, and so she supports herself solely on her Mary Kay direct selling business, which I think is incredible. Also, a fun fact about her, which I just thought was so cool, is that she was a past Miss Wheelchair Texas, which I'm come to find out is like Miss America, but for women in wheelchairs, which I thought was so amazing. Well, I wanted to share with you a little bit just about Sandy's experience, you guys, because she did a learning lunch this past week, and I wanted to read what she sent to me on Facebook, which I thought was so incredible. She said, Kristin, I had my mentor luncheon yesterday, and it was amazing. It was a friend of mine who was a former VP of marketing at Frito-Lay and was part of a corporate layoff. She then decided to start her own business called Marketing Brainology, studying the neuroscience of companies' marketing to their customers. She is now making some big breakthroughs. But what I was amazed was when I started asking her the questions that John suggested, many of her answers were in different ways of stating things that we've always been taught in Mary Kay, principles of direct sales. So thank you for giving me this assignment because I truly gained a lot. And she has already put me in touch with more contacts, which is helping her build her business. So yay, Sandy, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, just so you guys know, Sandy has a special place in my heart because at my very first Mary Kay seminar, which is our big awards that we do in Dallas with thousands and thousands of people, I think that year there was probably over 10,000 people at that seminar, was my very first Mary Kay seminar. And I remember telling my mom that I just was not good at selling Mary Kay products and that I just could not sell as much as I needed to sell to really provide an income as a single woman. And of course, my mom in pure gracious fashion said, well, Kristin, I'm going to pray that you get exactly what you need at this seminar. Well, lo and behold, there on awards night was Sandy, zooming across that huge stage in her motorized wheelchair, picking up a huge diamond ring for doing the National Court of Sales. Now, clearly, because of her wheelchair, I knew, without even knowing Sandy, that she was paralyzed. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, Kristin, the excuses that you have been choosing to believe. Look at this woman that's killing it in Mary Kay. She is paralyzed. I can't even imagine the setbacks and how hard it is for her to do home parties. And look what she's doing. She's one of the top sellers in this entire company. Well, you guys, I'll never forget that moment. And I was intentional at that seminar. I don't even know if Sandy remembers this, but getting a picture with her. And I remember anytime I felt discouraged, I would look at Sandy's picture and think, okay, if Sandy can do this, my goodness, Kristin, you can do this. Well, fast forward now 13 years that I've been in Mary Kay, and I want you to know that it has been my mission at every seminar to get my picture with Sandy because she has been such an inspiration to me, and I know countless others. But I want you to know that I was intentional about building that connection with Sandy. Not that I would just run up to her and get my picture taken and say that I got my picture with Sandy. It was to build a connection and a friendship and a relationship with her. And I will tell you, that has been such a big blessing. So I wanted to show you a picture of Sandy. This was just taken not too long ago. She came as a guest speaker to our fall advance, but here she is. Incredible, inside and out, needs 24-hour care, but still financially supports herself with her Mary Kay business. It's amazing what her scooter can do too, by the way. Oh my gosh. So thank you, Sandy, for your example, and thank you for taking the challenge of doing that learning lunch like I asked. All right, well, let's go ahead and dive into this week, which is chapter number 2, covering connection, okay? Now, what I love, you guys, about this chapter, and I don't know if your guys' book is like this, but I have like all sorts of highlights and sticky notes. It's awesome. It's a working book, right? But what I love is that John references the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's by Dale Carnegie. If you haven't read it, it's a must read. And really, I would say in our industry, it's known as the book on people skills. In fact, it was one of Mary Kay Ash's favorite books. And if you've read any of Mary Kay's books, she talks about Dale Carnegie and the principles that she learned from him countless times. So some of the statements, you guys, that I read right off the bat that John referenced that I thought were so good was this. Okay, every woman that I meet is my superior in some way. In that, I can learn from her. He also states this: success in dealing with people depends on a sympathetic grasp of the other person's viewpoint. And then this: finding a connection and developing relationships with others is key to your success in direct sales. He went on to say this: the better you are at connecting with people, the greater your opportunities are for sustained success in your career. And I don't know about you, but I never wanted to be a flash in the pan. I was looking to build a solid business with sustainable success. So as we go through this chapter today on connection, I want you to think not only how you can connect more, but how you can create a culture of connection in your home. Meaning raising your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews to be great connectors. You know, looking back, I can see the very strategic, specific things that my mom, Senior National Sales Director Connie Kitson, who's now an emeritus in Mary Kay, she's retired, taught me. She taught me countless skills on how to connect with people. And you guys, it started when I was a very young girl. So for those of you that know my story, you know, my mom was like motherhood smotherhood before she started Mary Kay. We had never had a babysitter. She actually, I will tell you, this was our Sunday school teacher when we went to Sunday school. And we didn't have a preschool in our town, so she started the preschool and was like there with us. Okay, so when she joined Mary Kay, it was a big change. But because of the skills that she learned in Mary Kay, because of the opportunity that I had growing up pink, I will tell you, she taught me life skills. And I remember, especially when my mom first joined Mary Kay, I was about 5 years old, and I was really shy. I was really shy. But when my mom would introduce me, I want you to know this, I would be hugging on to her leg, hiding behind her. And she would say, "This is my daughter, Kristin. She loves people, and she's so outgoing." Now, you guys, clearly, I'm sure people were like, no, your daughter doesn't love people, and she's not outgoing. But my mom would profess that over my life. And so every time she would introduce me to people, because she talked to me just like I was an adult, even as a little kid, she would say, "This is my daughter, Kristin. She loves people, and she is so outgoing." Well, I'm here to tell you, I grew up to love people, and I would say I'm really outgoing. So I say this because it was a skill that my mom taught me, which then gave me the confidence to build connections and watch her. And like John said last chapter, what is caught is stronger than what is taught. And I caught how to be a connector from my Mary Kay mom. So I'm going to take you on a little tour of my house. Well, not really. I'm going to take you to a specific place, which is over my son's door. So I'm hoping I can be a techno babe and make this happen with precision. So come on, welcome to my house. If you see any dirty laundry or dishes, just totally look past that, okay? So I wanted to show you over my son's door. Let me see if I can flip this. Okay, I'm hoping I can here. Okay, so let me move this a little bit. So this is over my son's door, and it says, Luke Ryan Sharpe, "I can do hard things. I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm a leader. I do more than I'm asked. I leave places better than I found them. I am confident, courageous, and I make friends easily." So every day, you guys, we say this to each other. Well, I say one line and he repeats it. And on days where we have mornings that are really full and we have a lot going on, here's what's so great is he always stops me and he says, "Mama, read it to me, you guys, because he wants me to say over and over to him everything that I state over his life. And I'll tell you, one of the coolest things, I think I'm losing my stand here. One of the coolest things that I will tell you about this is that his preschool teacher called me the other day and she said, "Kristin, oh my gosh, Luke is so kind. And I want you to know he is so confident and he makes friends easily." I'm like, thank you, Lord. Yes, yes, yes. So you guys, in this chapter, John says that nothing will help you more in life than your ability to positively connect with others. And from my experience in Mary Kay, I will tell you that I believe connecting with others has a lot to do with listening. So I want you to think about that. You've probably heard the saying that, God gives you 2 ears and 1 mouth. But I really learned early on in my career that in order to be successful and to truly connect with people, that I needed to work on my listening skills and really hear what my customers and my prospects were saying to me. So here's what I found, is that sharing the Mary Kay opportunity has everything to do with listening and the ability through listening to ask better questions, which will lead you to a stronger connection, a stronger relationship. So I like to call it heart-centered listening because I'm really truly listening with my heart, not my head of, oh my gosh, what am I going to say next? But really truly trying to hear what the person is saying. And what I love about heart-centered listening, you guys, is it really helps you customize to what you share about the Mary Kay opportunity. Because not every prospect needs to hear about every single quality or attribute or perk that we have on our career path or with our direct selling opportunity. That can be overwhelming. But I share this with you because I had to totally develop this skill. You guys, in fact, my very first sharing appointment was like an epic fail. I want to give you hope because I have been the queen of sharing and sat in the queen's chair and, was number one in sharing the Mary Kay opportunity. So there is hope, but I want you to know my first official sharing appointment was terrible. In fact, her name was Carrie. She was a wonderful girl. I facialed her, and at that facial, she bought an ivory concealer. Now, please know, she didn't even try the ivory concealer, but I knew she worked in marketing and that she would be a great person for me to do my sharing appointments with, which we called our Pearl of Sharing Appointments. And so I'll tell you, after work, we met for coffee, and I was so excited to walk her through the entire marketing plan. Now, here's what I want you to know, is I went in depth over every perk of Mary Kay. The money, the cars, the recognition, the self-esteem, the personal growth, literally every advantage on how to be your own boss, you name it. At one point, you guys, I even whipped out the Mary Kay autobiography and I started reading from it, literally like it was library time. Okay, so here's what I want you to know. That sharing appointment actually lasted 2 hours. I know, and not because, you guys, she was asking me questions. No. It lasted me 2 hours because I was talking the entire time. At one point, this is why it was such an epic fail, is she interrupted me and she's like, Kristin, here's the deal. Girl, I don't want to do Mary Kay. And she got up and she left. Okay, side note, she never bought another ivory concealer. She never returned my calls. She completely ghosted me. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, Kristin. Yeah, so hopefully I'm giving you hope here. But after I left that sharing appointment, of course, I called my mentor, my mom, and gave her the play-by-play. And I said, okay, Mom, this is what happened. And of course, I went through everything. I told her, I said, Mom, I went in depth over all the perks, you name it. And my mom was so smart. She said, Kristin, well, tell me this. What questions did you ask Carrie? Well, you guys, I immediately realized that I talked nonstop. I hadn't asked Carrie any questions. Yeah. So this is what my mom said. I'll never forget this. This was a pivotal part of my career. She said, Kristin, I want you to write the word wait down. W-A-I-T. And she asked me, do you know what that stands for? And I'm like, wait. She said, why am I talking? Wait, why am I talking? You guys, Carrie's sharing appointment and that conversation with my mom afterwards was pivotal in my career. I had to learn a hard lesson that day, but it's a lesson that I have never forgotten. So I think I'm friends with Carrie on Facebook. So if you're watching, Carrie, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for getting up and leaving, because that failure was a setup for a major lesson that I needed to learn in my direct sales business. So you guys, today I write the word wait, W-A-I-T, everywhere. It's on my bathroom mirror. It's in my office. It's on my whiteboard. And sometimes, you guys, it's even on permanent marker on my hand. Wait. As a visual reminder to me that literally sometimes I need to put my hand over my mouth and stop talking. so I can listen with a heart. Now you'll notice that over the I, it has like a heart because that helps me remember to listen with my heart. I'm highly visual. I need the visual. I don't know if you're with me, if you're a visual person too. But you guys, when I studied Mary Kay's life, this is what she would say over and over again. Some of the most successful leaders are the best listeners. Some of the most successful leaders are the best listeners. You see, the most interesting people are the ones that are most interested. You know, as John says in his book, talk to someone about themselves and they'll listen for hours. Isn't that the truth, right? You know, when women feel heard, I have found that they feel validated, they are more receptive to what you have to say. And I've also found, like John said, listening builds trust. So when someone asks you, how are you doing? I want you to say, I'm wonderful. And you? You see, I turn it around to them. Or I say, I'm grateful for this moment in this conversation. How about you? You know, people gravitate towards people who love life and are positive. It's true. I know many people have joined my organization because they said, Kristin, you were one of the most positive and kind people I have ever met. And I truly believe that people gravitate to you when you love life, you are kind, and you're positive. Remember, interested makes you interesting. I read in a book, oh my gosh, it was several years ago, but it really made a profound difference in helping me understand the power of asking questions, because basically there was this author riding on a plane and he was interacting with other people throughout the flight. And when they came off the plane, there were all these reporters, you guys, and cameras and people asking the passengers, so what did you think about that person that you sat next to on the plane? All the people responded and they said, oh my gosh, he was the most interesting person we have ever met. Yet no one knew his name. You see, all this man did was ask questions, and they thought he was the most interesting person because he took the time to listen, to truly listen, and to be interested. So when I think about the great connectors in this world, oh my gosh, of course, John Maxwell comes to mind and our beloved Mary Kay Ash, right? And you know, Mary Kay taught us to imagine that everyone has a sign around their neck that says, make me feel important. And one of the best stories I love that Mary Kay Ash talks about was prior to her starting our company, she worked for another direct selling company. And she was so excited at her convention because she wanted to meet the president of that company. And she waited in line to meet that man. She wanted to have that conversation. But one thing that she observed was that the entire time he was talking to her, he wasn't really listening. In fact, he was looking over her shoulder to see how many people were still in line. He was trying to figure out how fast he was going to get out of there and go home. So, what did Mary Kay learn from this? Well, that every person in front of you, she would look you in the eye, she would hold your hands, and you truly believed that you were the only person in the room. She would have women lined up for hours and hours at all of our events, right? But she always made the person in front of her feel important. You guys, I would venture to say that connecting, the power of connecting, is one of the most single important skills to master in our business. I think, of course, it's critical for booking, coaching, team building, selling as well. You know, I also love in this chapter that John talks about the story of Pam. Have you read that story about Pam yet? I don't know who Pam is, but I love this story because basically he shared the story of her having this presentation where there were supposed to be a lot of people that were coming and she was so excited. But when it came time to that home party, there was only one person that showed up. But in that moment, Pam made the decision there at that party that she was going to focus on who was there. That one person, because of the connection and the time that she spent with him, went on to be one of the top producers in her entire organization. And it changed his life more than he could have ever imagined. And it made me think about this because I'm guilty of this. Those parties that we're going to have 6, 10, 15 people, and then whatever happens, someone's dog dies, their boyfriend breaks up with them, their car breaks down, whatever, and there's one person that shows up. Am I the only one that that's happened to? Come on, I know I'm not, right? And in that moment, sometimes it's really easy to focus on all the people that are not there instead of focusing on the people that are there. You guys, this business, what we do, isn't about you. It isn't about you. So are you making it about you, or are you making it about other people? I have found the people that are most successful in our industry are the ones that are making it about other people. So I want to do this exercise with you that John talks about on page 35. So hopefully you have done this. If you haven't got the book, it's not too late. You can still get it. But what I love on page 35 is he asks the following questions, okay? He asks, name 3 of the wealthiest people in the world. Name 3 of the last Heisman Trophy winners. Name 3 of the people who have won the Nobel Prize. Name 3 of the last 5 Academy Award winners for Best Actress. And name 3 of the last 5 Grammy winners for Album of the Year. Well, you guys, when I read that, I'm here to tell you, I was not able to answer all of those correctly. I'm guessing you probably weren't either, unless you Googled it or asked Siri, right? But he went on to do another exercise that I thought was so powerful. He asked, list 3 teachers who aided your journey through school. Well, I don't know about you, but I immediately thought of 3. He next asked, name 3 friends who have helped you through a difficult time. Again, really easy to answer. Name 3 people who have taught you something worthwhile. Think of 3 people who have made you feel appreciated and special. And think of 3 people that you enjoy spending time with. Powerful exercise, right? You see, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You guys, this business is not about your accolades or how many big diamond rings you have or bar pins. This business is about people. This is a people business. So this month in Mary Kay, we have this huge team building promotion. Like, you guys, seriously, such a blessing. Not only is our starter kit, I mean, it's $100 and it's amazing what you get for a starter kit. It's over $500 in products and supplies. But did you know that this month, Mary Kay is doing a signing bonus for us where you can get our biocellulose masks, 4 masks worth $70 free. So anyone that you decide to share Mary Kay with not only gets this amazing starter kit filled with incredible tools and products, full-size products, but they also, in the month of October, get our biocellulose masks, 4 masks, $70 value for free. You guys, I'm in love with these masks. If you haven't tried it, I mean, seriously, it's kind of funny when you put them on because you look like a glazed donut, which makes it so fun. My husband's like, oh my gosh, Kristin, you're doing that mask again. But he likes it because he knows I look way better after I do it. But if you're not familiar with this product, it has like the latest Korean boosters in skincare technology, and it visibly lifts the skin within 2 weeks. I noticed that it increased the moisture level in my skin, and as I've been getting older, my skin's been getting drier, which is crazy because I typically have oily skin. But also, I've noticed that it reduces existing wrinkles. So read the product fact sheets on Mary Kay, bust it out of your inventory so you can try it because you guys, it's a game changer. Added value this month for your Mary Kay customers. But I want to encourage you to really talk to key people on your layering chart. Let them know that you want them to be a part of your Mary Kay team. You know, you can't lead what you need, but I do believe that you can show them how they can fit into your organization. You know, compliment people in front of them. Tell them what you see in them and why you think they would be great at Mary Kay. But most importantly, you guys, ask questions. Remember, a woman's life changes every 90 days. So even if she's someone that said, that's not for me now, you never know. It might be the right time now. Practice adding value to people every day. Worst case, she's going to feel like $1 million because you are someone that you selected to have be a part of your team with your mission and what you're doing with your direct selling company. Now, I think it's important that John encourages us to ask questions and listen. But this does not mean that people are like in an interview with you, okay? And I want to just clarify this because I have a couple people on my team that are like, what's your name? Where do you live? What's your social security number? How many kids do you have? And it's like way intense, right? When's your birthday? Okay. You want to practice the art of active listening and of course using the weight that I showed you on my hand, right? Wait. But it's questions out of curiosity. Does that make sense? So it's like you truly want to get to know them. So I like to ask questions like, what are you most passionate about? Or what would your ideal workday look like? Or even if there's someone that loves their other career, because some people do Mary Kay, you guys, for a side gig or because it's just some extra cash for the holiday season. So a lot of times I like to ask them, what do you enjoy about your current career? Or if you could change anything, what would it be? I like to ask questions out of genuine curiosity because it allows me, you guys, to dig deeper and to really build that authentic connection, which through asking questions, you can figure out commonalities that you have with someone. Now, in this chapter, remember that as you grow your business, there's 7 motivations of people that John talks about. And John breaks these down on page 43. And it's so important, you guys, that you read that section. But here's what I love about all 7 is all 7 of those can be fulfilled in a direct selling business. I read that and I'm like, that is why this opportunity is so perfect. The 7 needs that most people have, every single one of them can be filled with a Mary Kay opportunity. So your job is to find their need and fill it. Now, you guys, of course, when you're sharing about the Mary Kay opportunity or any direct selling opportunity, a lot of times, people will give you objections, okay? And I think in the past, people would say and use the feel, felt, found method, like, oh, I felt that way too, and this is what I found. I'm not in the business of convincing people to do Mary Kay because then I have to convince them to work and oh my gosh, that's exhausting. But what I am wanting to do is ask them key questions to help them discover on their own how a business in direct sales, a Mary Kay business, could benefit them. So even when people say things like, oh, I'm just too busy to do this, I say things like, well, how long have you been busy? And then I stop talking. Or I ask a question like, okay, so if nothing changed in 5 to 10 years from now, what would you have missed out on in business or not had enough time for because of your current schedule? Or I like to ask the question, how much time do you think a Mary Kay business takes? Because sometimes people's idea of what a direct selling business takes is like a full-time career, and it's clearly does not have to be that, right? Bottom line, you guys, is successful people ask better questions. Successful people ask better questions. And as a result, they get better answers. They do. So as John says in the Power of 5 book, questions are the keys to unlock doors to better relationships. So today, I'm challenging you to work through the questions at the end of this chapter. It's on page 48 and 49. And to truly use this book, you guys, as a workbook. I hope it's highlighted. I hope you have notes on the side. I hope you're answering the questions in the back. And to really dig deeper, to really become a better connector. I like to wake up every day and ask myself, how can I add value to someone today? How can I add value to someone today? And you guys, that's part of the reason, even though this makes me really nervous to do these Facebook Lives and my tripod completely fell over. Let me show you. Right here on my table. And I'm holding this with my hand and my hand hurts. I knew that I needed to do this on my public NSD Kristin Sharpe page because I knew I could add value to more people than just having it in my Sharpe National Area page. And so when I read that book and I initially thought, this is going to be a great book club that I can just do with the Sharpe National Area, I knew that I had a bigger reach with this if I did it publicly. Because I asked myself the question, how can I add value to someone today? How can I make the biggest impact today? You know, Mary Kay Ash said that there's no greater opportunity for women that exists than the one that we have to offer. And I truly believe that. Well, I chose to do this Facebook Live in my dining room, which I don't even know if you know, but like 3 people came to my door knocking at my door, and I've just been ignoring them, which is also super fun doing it in your dining room, okay? But I did this because I wanted to show you this picture right here. And this is a hand painted picture that I got in 2012 on a Mary Kay trip to Provence, France. And what I love about this picture is that you'll see people are at round tables. And I always want to have round tables at my house because it invites conversation and no one's the head of the table, right? But why I put this in my dining room is to be in constant reminder of the connections with the men and the women that were on this trip to Provence. You see, we were in a castle, a chateau, they called it, where we had live music. I mean, this is actually all of us that were on the top director trip. Like, that's me right here with my sparkly dress and my earrings. That's my friend Leah Carta. This is Jordan Halu Eicher. This is Connie Aykroyd. This is my friend Christine Denton Baracco, okay? It's the connections. It's the friendships. And I just get giddy when I look at this painting because it brings me back to the relationships, the connections that we have with Mary Kay, the lifelong friendships that a direct selling business offers. And so I decided to get that professionally framed and have it in my dining room so I can constantly be reminded about the power of connection. Well, I hope you'll take the challenge to tag me on social media with your ahas, your BFOs, and how you're specifically blessing people, making connections, and adding value today. I will see you back here next Wednesday, October 16th at 12 Eastern in a different location of my house because clearly my dining room is not the best when all these people are coming to my house. I think it might be Amazon packages. I'm not sure. Okay, so next week, Power of 3 Mindset. Power of 3 Mindset is next week. Blessings to you, my friends. And I want you to know it's not too late. If you do not have the John Maxwell Power of 5 book, you still can get it. MaxwellPowerOf5.com/leader to get the discounted book. It's $12. And also $1 goes to our Mary Kay Charitable Foundation. Love you all. Bye-bye.